Alright, I wanted to share with everyone how I do my alcohol washes in the kitchen. So it's really hot outside, I do a lot of monitoring, and so I like to just collect my sample in the bee yard. I collect into my half-cup samples into Ziploc bags that have a label in the bag, tells me what colony it came from, and I'll just put those in the freezer until I'm ready to process them in the kitchen where it's I've got air conditioning and music, and I can do a good wash. And so this is the sample we're going to work on today. I just put colony labels on little tags with a pencil, and so that if you use ink it'll run when it gets wet. So I know what colony I'm sampling from, and I'm going to transfer from the bag to a glass jar. Before we get started, let me tell you about this equipment. I have a colander. This is going to catch the bees but allow the mites to go through. I have another colander. This has a mesh net on it that's going to allow the alcohol to go through, but it's going to catch the mites. Then I have a bucket that's going to catch the alcohol. So that's my equipment. This is just a 5-gallon paint strainer bag that I get from Home Depot. Nothing fancy. This other stuff I just had in the kitchen. So I'm going to transfer my bees to the jar. This is a half-cup sample. Should be about 300 bees. And if you're not sure about your sample size, you can always count the bees after you've gotten the mites off of them. I also like to, once I've transferred the bees, I like to look at my bag and see if I've left any mites in the bag. It doesn't look like I have any mites in my bag, so bees are in my sample jar. I like to use windshield washer fluid. This is -20 windshield washer fluid. You can get this for a couple bucks. It's very cheap, and it has methanol in it, so alcohol. And so I'll just put some in my jar. I'm going to shake to dislodge the mites. Now I'll just dump everything into the colander on the top. Now I can recycle this alcohol back to my jar, so I'm just going to go ahead and move that back to the jar. So that's ready for my next sample. I'm only going to do one sample today, but usually I do 20 samples an evening. Now I'm going to wash the bees in the colander to remove any more mites. You can use the spray nozzle or just kind of agitate them under the sink. And then we can count the mites on my mesh. And so I have a lot of legs, but what I don't have is mites. So this is a clean sample. So that's how I do it. If you transfer the bees and then you see lots of mites in your bag, you know you've got a problem. So I have seen that before, but this is an easy way to or make it a little better. Easier in the apiary. So all I do is collect the samples in the apiary, process them in the kitchen. So that's how I do it. Thank you.